Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Pronago bringing you another Cos Monarchy cast. Just wanted to check in with some of our lower level players and see what is going on here. We're on Crisis Vector, a map that everybody should know and love. If there is a homie out there who doesn't know that much about Cos Monarchy, you can play Crisis Vector easily. It's one of the most played maps. You'll always find lobbies on Crisis Vector, that's for sure. Map by Jujic. Shout out Jujic for making the Dust 2 of Cos Monarchy. Classic move. And we do indeed have a group of players that we don't typically get to see in the game on the channel. I wanted to take a look at these guys because Kutyam's been grinding like an MF-er. This man plays more Cos Monarchy than most others combined. And he is in the top left as our Russian green Terran player going for a Fulcrum opener versus Lordragon, a relative newcomer to the space. And you saw them talking about some issues with the game. That's actually because Lordragon keeps having a rough install time, rough install period. There's a lot of trouble with him for whatever reason. So he's had a bit of a nightmare trying to actually get games running in general. It's not just Cos Monarchy, but his internet seems to maybe have been fixed, and so maybe then he will be able to play the game very nicely, very nicely. He's also a big typer, a big typing man hailing from Russia. He is our dark green Protoss player, and he's going to go for a 2-gate. He's also harvesting Vespene inefficiently. You want to be harvesting your Vespene with double workers on the Geyser because that's more efficient than mining from the ridge. Looks like a lattice follow-up, and just lackadaisically moving that scribe across the map for a bit of a late scout. The Vulture will almost certainly defeat him beforehand. If it is even for a scout, he actually just makes a pylon. And yeah, Kutyam revealing all. He's outwardly a Terran supremacist, right? You know, he wants to be he's a Terran chauvinist. Maybe that's a better term for it. I'm not really entirely sure. I guess Terran chauvinist would be the real word that you would use to describe him, but he tries to project this aura of like, no, only Terrans are good. Every other race is bad. And he doesn't mean in terms of meta. He doesn't mean that in terms of like, oh, they're actually underpowered or something. He means that, like, morally, ethically, he is not a man who wants to play as any other race. There's that Immortal 2v2 that we casted at one point where he's like, I hated Zerg before, but now I played the Zerg, and I really hate them. So that was pretty good. Now he's going to get tagged up by the Legionnaire, which will make this hold a little bit easier for Lordragon. There is only the one Vulture, and by the way, the money here, outrageously high for Kutyam. And he's finding it challenging. He's finding it challenging to out-micro his opponent, but he is going to go ahead and build up a Goliath and probably drop another Ministry here pretty soon. Adding a Watchdog because he scouted the Lattice. Doesn't want to get vassaled. Vulture. Yeah, that's... maybe I should have enabled that config option that blocks chat messages except for GG and GLH. That might have been a good idea for this one. Vulture's now going to be screaming towards that natural choke point. Got a good defensive mine setup. Yep, that was a Vulture. Kutyam. Double warded, very defensive from Lordragon. You don't need all of this defense when you have all these units right here. The only time you'd be thinking about going for defenses like that is if you were expecting an attack while you're out on the map, right? And so you might build them. But he's also got a warden over here. That's a lot of money invested. This is... you know what this reminds me of, guys? And I don't mean this to be insulting. It does remind me of campaign-style gameplay. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm gonna build some defenses because you never know what's gonna happen. But you don't need all them defenses. What you need is an expansion, my man. Vulture's trying to do what they can. They haven't drawn any Protoss blood yet, but at least there's an automaton that gets destroyed by the Watchdogs. So there's something there. Triple Folk. An expansion pretty soon to be finished. Not scouted by Lordragon either. I think we know who's favored in this particular round. He's been doing a reasonable job of making workers, but I hate it. The worker count is actually a little bit lower for Kutyam than it needed to be because he had... he obviously had a bit of a difficult time microing earlier, so... Grand Library being added, so we're going to scale up the tech tree, Rogue Gallery as well. SimCity not very good here for Lordragon. He needs to be able to set up his structures a little bit nicer, I think. A little bit nicer. Added some not Legionnaires, Hierophants, the other new unit from the Gateway. Well, there's the other new unit from the Gateway with the Ecclesiast. Start with the Hierophant. Yeah, well, some Protoss players do like to do that, yeah. I don't think you need to, but if you're at a lower level, it's easier to Just kind of a move in the direction of the vulture and catch it. So, yeah, he loves Legionnaire. Yeah, why not? I love the Legionnaire. Dude, look at that guy. Isn't he sick? Excellent portrait and model by Sir Solstice. What a homie. Gone up to a 4th Folk here, adding another Watchdog inside the natural. And we obviously have quite a few Cyclops. So Cyclops did get adjusted recently to have reduced build time, or increased build time. Reduced build speed. There you go. Roundabout way of saying it. Kabbalist slipping the net and going to be moving into an interesting direction here. Okay, there's two things here. Hear me out. One, Kabbalist could attack over here, draw all the Cyclops friendly fire, and splash every Mason. But two, the option that is actually being taken here, the Kabbalist will infiltrate and see what he can do here. There's only just going to be one guy, though, so that's going to make it a little bit harder for him to get a ton of value. And now the jig is up that Kabbalists exist, right? So sometimes you want to bank these things, especially if your opponent isn't scouting. The Lodestone immediately comes down. And, of course, a Cestus in the front gates. Ha 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 ha! Well, you can ha-ha if you like, but I just want to point out that you're now down by 7 workers soon to be. Or 6, it would be 7 if it wasn't for that one kill. Where's your expansion, sir? That's why Kutyam should just, like, detonate this mine. Just to show that he's seen that you've got no expo. I don't think it's actually technically in range of the vassal, though, so he wouldn't see it. It would just be for nothing, and then he would type his own ha-ha-ha, and Lordragon would be so confused. How? What? What happened? There's another loose Kabbalist. Yeah, too bad all the Cyclopses weren't in the good spot to do that. That would have been really good, right? Star pad coming. Fulcrum number 5. Pretty big army here for Kutyam. He could just move across the map, join up with his vultures, and see if he can't drive up this ramp. But there's a lot of zealots, so... I mean, this play has a timer, right? Like, Lordragon will eventually need to move out, and he is doing so right now, and he will need to take another base, which he seems to be attempting as we speak. Got a lot of money in the bank as well. One Herald is positioned nicely to see what he can do. And there's a couple of Hierophant tags to prevent the vultures from being able to escape. But now this is going to trigger Kutyam to think about moving forward. Kabbalist could strike again if he so desires. Maybe that's actually why Kutyam went back there for a second. I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, I feel like overall the... seeing the Herald, seeing the gateways, I think Lordragon has an idea that he's going for here. And might lead to interesting games, but he's adding a lot of Wardens. He's me playing that mission in the fall, if you guys watch my stream of playing Three Crows campaign. Alright, Amaranth's getting big stuns there. Good mines from the Vestigial layout earlier, and the Cyclops are shellacking everything. Man invests all this money into static defense and then doesn't fight in front of it. Instead, he fights away from it. A lot of units going down for the Protoss. Now, these Cyclops are pretty brittle. And the Kabbalist now striking again, but nothing in that lodestone there. Throw a couple of the Cyclops in, perhaps. Oh, so I would have loved to see the friendly fire just kill a bunch of Masons. There's something very satisfying about that. Yeah, look, the Wardens are actually going to be... you'd be surprised how easy Cyclops deal with static defense. But it looks like they were thinned down just enough. They'll only kill the first 3 Wardens there. The last one will indeed defend. But again, the static defense can't move away from the extra damage. You know what I mean? Engram up here. Foo. It's true. It is true. I mean, you don't have any combat units anymore. 0 military supply. 0 military units here for Lordragon. That's what that 0 is. Big fat. What's the goose egg? There you go. That's what he's got. Smiley face. Yeah, I think the next attack is probably going to finish the job here. Barghest is coming up. Yeah, 2 Amaranths is not enough. I think this is even before the Amaranth shield buff, but maybe not. I can't quite remember the chronology of everything. I fixed balance forever, guys. Oh, look at that. Kutyam's also figured it out. Yes. It's right. It's true. They're also good at busting down structures in general because they can't move. Nexus goes down immediately. Devastation has struck. Amaranth's trying to dance around, but oof, they were dancing inside the damage field. when I was doing the Cosmonarchy tabletop, it was pretty scary for the players when they realized that the Cyclops did its damage, but then it left the damage field there, and that it blew up next turn, because, you know, you're turn-based. It goes from the Kabbalist to a Barghest. The problem is there's already anti-air defenses everywhere. We got 2 Goliaths in that lodestone. We got more star pads coming up. We got a buttload of Cyclops ready to go, and this round could have just walked up the ramp, but it decided against it. Is he going to go? I think he might be going Wraith or Anseal Mass. I'm not really entirely sure. Yeah, down goes the Barghest. There's no hope for that guy, and Secret Agent number 2 was not enough. Going for the seeded into the Aquifer play here on 1 base, having lost his Nexus. And, yeah, pretty dire for our Protoss player. Pretty dire. I think, you know, it's good to check in with new players. It's probably going to be a little bit before I check out a game with featuring Lordragon. Maybe somebody more his level. Kutyam has not posted many dubs in his time of Cosmonarchy. But, oh, I see. It's Mass Drop. That's what these star pads are for. He hasn't posted so many dubs, right? He's grinded so much. And I think we calculated him out as like an 80% loss rate or something. Because he plays versus everybody. And that is mostly high-level players, right? So, very interesting. But happy to see him get some success. And I'm looking forward to seeing if Lordragon can improve over time. You know, that's the optimistic view is, oh, okay, he's checking out the game. He's trying things out. He's playing things around, and maybe he'll get some extra power. I know he played against 3-Crow recently. I was debating whether to cast that game. That might be a hilarious one. I'm imagining Kutyam would beat 3-Crow because 3-Crow's been out of the game for a little bit in terms of playing 1v1s, right? But when when he sees, and he's an opportunist, that 3-Crow, when he sees a newer player, he's happy to check him out. Base number 3 lifting over for Kutyam. It's academic at this point, but he is going to finish it off in style. We're building towards that very epic Giga Drop conclusion. Oh, says Lordragon. Isn't that German? Oh. No, that's Scottish. I don't actually know what German is. Maybe it's both. Macro problems, question mark? They're both flooding the same amount of minerals. So yeah, I'd say so. And this is without any Vespene caps. I love micro. Well, that's why you have a Kabbalist, I guess. That makes sense. Oh, it's actually base number 4, by the way, at 12 o'clock and the low ground. Kutyam has set them up, but he's not actually building anything from them yet. He could be massing vultures to attack the front. That would be pretty amusing since you have minerals, right? Throw a scrapyard down, maybe. Just making more Cyclops, though. He's got 9 Trojans. And they've got a little entourage, little hangers-on. Kabbalist comes up here and sees a ministry, waiting for the Masons. I appreciate Lordragon's gusto. And he is re-expanding. It took him a very long time. He didn't realize that he could have done it. Probably scared of the Cyclops, right? Wow. Well, let's see it happen. Let's see it, Kutyam. Let's see those drops. Yeah, that's... I know it. I know it too, buddy. That was pretty good. 1 Cantabus versus 39 Cyclops. No, not quite. Ladies and gentlemen, the Cyclops nerf has not accomplished what it set out to do, has it? I don't even know. What would you even try to do in this situation? Only not Cyclops drop. The Terran Cyclops. No, it's on top of the buildings. It's dealing splash damage to all the buildings. Well, at least he made a unit out of the Stargate, right? Oh. The other units that came through. Walked right in there. They only need to blow up the factories, so the Nexus and the Grand Library are all that Lordragon has that separates him from death. Although he doesn't really have anything else. We got some more units coming in here as well. And that is a wrap. GG, boys. Maybe it was a good thing I didn't enable the replay chat protection thing, because that was silly, and it did kind of add something to it. That will be all we wrote for that game. That didn't go how I expected it to go. But hey, I should mention here at the end, Weekend Wage. Weekend Wage is starting in a few hours as of the publishing time of this video. Sign up. Maybe you'll even see one of these players there. Wink.